right?
I think I've been using Vividita for the last 3 years as a learning opportunity as well. That's what I began today with as well. So for me, even the fact that you brought this out right now, I know right now how subliminal it is. And so I want to come down to the gradual change, and I want to know if it's because earlier when we look at characters written from the LGBTQIA plus community, they were either poked fun at, like you mentioned, or they were either villains or but not. Again, I don't know how to define it, but just say regular characters in a film. The authenticity of it. Like there's always this extra layer to define them differently. Do you think it's now like with this new age of writers coming in, is it becoming better or is it becoming worse, or does box office still run the roost?
Right. That's actually a really interesting question. So I think with regards to the queer community, since the decriminalization, since Section 377 got read down in 2018, a lot has changed. A lot more younger people have come out. There's a lot more representation thanks to organizations like the ones we see today. I think I read a survey that there's been a 60% increase in LGBTQI plus characters, right? But then at the same time, where are the caste representations? Where are the differently abled people representations? So there is still marginalization, and also I think another survey showed that 60% of LGBTQIA individuals were not happy with the representations that they were seeing. Now, I've been working and trying to pitch 2 queer-based documentary series. They'll tell me very nicely that, yes, we want diversity and inclusion, and we love having queer characters as part of a fictional story track, but to do a whole show and a whole series on queer issues, it's not going to get us enough eyeballs, and it's a business, right? So there is this kind of tussle that goes on, and I think everybody, including people in this room, clearly want to do their best, right? And they clearly want to be as inclusive as possible. But there is a long way to go. We're seeing many, many more shows on every possible platform. And you're right, the old stereotypes are dying, right? But there's still a long way to go. Where does that intersection of queerness and caste come in? Many issues still.
I think Mayura has something to say.
I would like to add in here. So, like you said, I think when people want to create a film on particularly caste or LGBTQI, the film is particularly on that topic. So it is not needed, no, it's not necessary that you should cater to the subject and then only have these characters. It can be a regular love story and there can be characters coming from marginalized, caste oppressed or sexuality, gender oppressed communities as well. I would like to give an example here from the very recent, very popular, a good film I would call Lapata Ladies. So the character of Manjumai, which caste community is Manjumai coming from? It's very subtle how it is put, and we can get to know when there is one scene where Manjumai is sitting at her place and there are pictures, frames, photo frames of Buddha and Baba Sahib, and that are also shown how. So very subtle. So we can have such characters which are not just oppressed or victims, they're empowered. Yeah, they are empowered and they can empower others as well, and you do not need to come up with pity or like, oh, this character, or show how in a bad situation they are. So there can be such kinds of films.